keto journey.
I feel like I'm starting to get hunger pangs.
So that way we could see exactly where I started to where I am now.
Hi! So I am welcoming you to my keto journey. And I'm actually going to do this journey for at least 6 months, but I'm going to separate it out into 3 parts. And this is the first part of the video, so welcome. And my first part is actually going to be focused on fat loss. 2 months of fat loss, 2 months of maintenance, and then 2 months of attempting to gain muscle. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because over the past couple weeks, months, I have been eating very good, very good, well-seasoned food, great portions, and unfortunately with that I have also not been able to fit into my clothes. So I want to get into better shape for myself, better health for myself, so I am attempting to do keto to kind of help with the fat loss and then eventually help with muscle gain. And I have this new scale as well as measuring tape to help me, and my scale is actually from Fine Life. It's a smart weight scale. I will try to put a link below if I can find it, but through the scale it gives me this app, and I'm going to show you the app. I'll try to have it up here. I'll try to have it up here, and it breaks down not just my weight but my BMI, my fat, my muscle, the water intake, my visceral fat, bone mass, metabolism, protein, obesity degree, and then my body's age and weight without fat. So I personally knew that for my height I am a little bit leaning towards the overweight size, and it is hard to see because I am small, and also how I gain weight, I tend to gain weight evenly roughly everywhere, so it's a bit hard to notice, especially because like for me I am gaining weight everywhere. There's only more weight in my stomach, but it's not as noticeable, especially if I'm wearing looser clothing. But my weight at this current moment is 138.2, which means my body fat percentage is at 35.7, and that actually puts me at a 20% obesity degree, which means I am overweight for my size. Please remember, I am not the biggest person in the world, but I am overweight for my size, and I want to change that. So in order for me to actually do this journey, I am using the help of this app called Cronometer. I know there's other apps that help you track your food and everything, but for me I'm going to use Cronometer. The reason I like Cronometer is because I can not only look up food, but I can add in meals as well. So for instance, if I'm doing a recipe, if I do the poll breakdown of how, like what goes into the recipe, I can put it in as a completely new recipe. I don't have to put in every single thing. And I can break it down like that. It also gives me charts and everything, so I'll definitely be keeping track of that. And at the end of this, I am going to show you where I'm at. I'm definitely going to do weekly updates as well, but also it breaks down the energy I need, the protein intake, the net carbs, and the fat. And you could not just set it up for keto, you could set it up for a regular diet. So for me, according to this, and I'm not going to give you the calorie intake because please remember, everybody's body is different. You know, somebody much taller than me is going to have a different requirement for their energy, their calorie intake than I am. As well as somebody much smaller than me is going to have a different calorie intake than I am. So please, please, please work out according to yourself. If you need to use me as a guide, use me as a guide, but remember, you have to make sure everything is specifically for yourself. So according to this, my net carbs, I'm going to attempt to do a rigorous keto because there's 3 different versions. There's rigorous, there's moderate, there's relaxed. and a rigorous one is 20 grams of carbohydrates minimum. And then I believe moderate is 40 grams, and then relaxed is 50. So essentially, if you stay at that 50 or under, you should be in keto. Hopefully, of course, once again, it depends on your body as well. So according to 20 grams of keto at a calorie deficit of at least 500, because I'm going to try to lose a pound a week to half a pound a week. So a pound is roughly a 500 calorie deficit per day, and half a pound is 250. And the reason for that is 1 pound is roughly 3,500 calories per week. So if you break it up for half a pound, 250 calorie deficit every single day, that's not that bad. You know, that might be the cost of a pack of Oreos. If you eat a pack of Oreos, cut out the pack of Oreos, congratulations, you're now at a calorie deficit if you're consistently consuming Oreos on an everyday basis. No offense to Oreos, I like Oreos. But I'm trying to do like a 1 pound a week, so that's roughly a 500 calorie deficit every single day. And please keep in mind, if I do work out more, that can help with the calorie deficit and reaching that. So my protein intake is supposed to be around 40 grams, and then my fat intake is 88.8 grams according to Cronometer. And that's what I'm really going to use to kind of follow up where I'm going with everything. Now, my waist measurement, and this is the part that really upset me because I am not fitting in my jeans anymore. My waist measurement is roughly around 30.5, and that is the biggest my waist has ever gotten. I have usually maintained like a 27 to 28 inch waist, and I know the lowest I can go without body fat is roughly 25, 26, and that's just for me naturally because I am a small person. That's my natural waist size without any fat. So I have a long way to go, even just to get back to 28. Losing inches in your waist can take a while because you can't spot reduce. So I gave you what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing 6 months of keto. I'm going to split it up with 2 months of a calorie deficit, 2 months to maintain that, and then 2 months of kind of trying to gain muscle on it, which means I'm going to go into a surplus. I gave you my weight, which is, once again, 138.2, which is crazy to me because that's the heaviest I personally have ever been for my weight. Of course, when I'm going into the fat loss, hopefully that's going down, but when I do go into muscle building, after I lose the fat loss, I do expect to get up to higher numbers because muscle weighs twice as much as fat, but it doesn't take up as much space. So at some point, I'm not really going to care about the weight, whether it's going down, if I'm at a place where my body fat percentage is much lower and I'm building muscle. So those of you that are afraid of the scale, do not be afraid of the scale, especially if you are losing fat and building muscle at the same time. That scale isn't really going to budge because you're losing and building at the same time. But yeah, my workout breakdown right now, what I'm going to do is I do have a workout plan that I'm going to follow, and I'm going to go to the gym at least 3 times a week to do heavy weights, and I'll try to record my whole workout process, and if I don't get everything, I'm definitely gonna break down what I did that day. I am gonna try to do a lot of fat burning cardio. I'm gonna do the 12-3-30, which is, how do I put it, on a treadmill you put it to level 12 with a minimum speed of 3 for 30 minutes. That puts you straight into the fat burning zone without wearing you out, which means if you do that before you go into the workout, you are not only already in the fat burning zone, but you're not tiring yourself out for heavy weights. So I'm going to attempt to do that both before and after a workout, but definitely at least once every time I go to the gym. So my goal right now is just a minimum of 3 times a week at the gym, and then every day a keto diet. And I will break down my macros for what I ate that day, whether I reached my goal or not. But yeah, this is my journey, and I just want to show you. This right here is where my body is at now. So as you can see with the workout clothes, it does not look that bad, but I am definitely overweight for my size. And then I'm gonna also show you, like, when the clothes are not hiding the fat, this is what it looks like. This is exactly what it looks like. And I am going to change that. I am going to, I have to say it for myself, because if I don't say it for myself, nobody else is gonna say it for me. I have to get, and I am going to get into the best shape of my life. And I can do it. If you are going on this journey with me, you can do it. So yeah, first 2 months keto weight loss, and we are going to make sure every single day is in keto. We are going to eat at a calorie deficit of at least 250 to 500 per day, just so that way we hit that half a pound mark minimum. And we are going to work out on top of that. So this is the start of my journey. I will definitely document as much as I can. So I just finished day 1 of keto, and I am under the 20 grams for carbs. I did go running for about 38 minutes. And like 4-kilometer run, a little bit over 4 kilometers. I am exhausted. That is roughly 2 miles, and I decided that my first week I'm not really gonna go to the gym to work out, because I want to make sure I am okay with the diet instead of overwhelming myself too much. But I will say that I noticed all the food that I couldn't eat. I noticed it all, a lot. But yeah, this is my first day. I am under the 20 grams because I am gonna go rigorous with keto. Let's see how the rest of the week goes, and yeah. Day 2 of keto is complete. I am honestly just really tired, really exhausted. I'm still a bit sore from that run I did, so I definitely didn't want to overwork myself, especially on this first week, because it's weird, like everything I am thinking about mainly tends to be like snacks, like cookies and cakes, even donuts, and I'm not the biggest fan of donuts, but it's all like right on my mind right away. So I'm kind of happy that I'm not working out and I could just focus on keeping up with the eating. I have been told that after a week, you're usually fine. You don't really think about that much stuff. But also, my weight did fluctuate going up, which means at first I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But then I was reading that, you know, sometimes we weigh a little bit more after exercising because water retention and your muscles being a little bit inflamed from working them out. So once hearing that, I didn't really stress myself out as much. It was still there, but I didn't stress myself out as much. So this is going on to day 3 now, and I think I'm getting better at it. I notice I'm not eating as much, like I'm not as much as I am craving snacks. I am not overeating to compensate, and I do feel full during meals. So we'll see how things work. Another thing is, I did read it it can take like 2 to 4 days to get into ketosis. So I don't know if I'm 100% there yet. I could be, or it could take a while because it does vary from person to person. So I'm tired.
Hey everybody, so I am at the end of day 3 and I am under my carb intake of 20 grams. However, I'm over in my calorie amount. I'm over by like 100, which isn't bad because my goal was to lose either half a pound to a pound a week, and that is 250 to 500 calorie deficit. So I am a little bit over that 500 calorie deficit, so it's not going to be a full, yeah, I'm a little bit over that calorie deficit. And I do want to make sure you all know this. If you are in keto, it does not mean, oh, I can eat whatever I want, because my body is gonna start using the fat that I have, my body's gonna start using the fat that I have, and then I'm gonna lose weight. No, you still need to be in a calorie deficit as well. So for instance, let's say your body needs 1,000 calories to get through the day. If you're feeding it 1,000 calories and you're not in a deficit, there's no need for it to use up the fat storage that you have on your body, which means you're not gonna get a fat loss because you're already giving your body what it needs to get through the day. Now, as you lose weight, as you lose fat, of course that number goes down and decreases as to what you would need, which is why you have to keep watching it just to make sure you're getting what your body needs, or if you want to be in a deficit, you want to maintain, or you want to gain, and that way you know your ranges. So for me, I am still in a calorie deficit, which is why my goal, of course, was the 250, so half a pound to 1 pound, which is 500, and I was always going towards my max goal of 500. That way I have some wiggle room just in case there's a day where, like today, I had a really good lunch. It was much bigger than I anticipated, but I enjoyed it, and I'm not gonna beat myself down for it. And because I have that range, it's like, okay, I'm still in a deficit, I can still lose the fat over time, and it's not as big of a deal as if I was shooting for that half pound and then, oh my gosh, now it's gonna be less than that. But I'm still under the 20 grams for carbs, which I'm thankful for. And I will say, today I noticed that as much as I look and see the snacks like chocolate, I love chocolate, that I want to get, I find myself looking at it but not reaching for it. And I do feel like my energy level is a bit higher today, which is shocking because I am tired, but it's much higher, and hopefully as the days go by it will keep getting higher. So this week, we're halfway through our first week with keto, just about. I think tomorrow is the actual halfway point, and we're starting to do good. So after 2 days minimum, you should be in ketosis. I think it's like 2 to 4 days on average. It does depend on your body, but definitely, we're on a good roll. It's okay. It's okay. So we are at day 4 finally, which is the middle of the week for us, and it's a huge accomplishment. I do notice I'm not getting as much cravings anymore, and in between meals I am able to go longer without eating. Like, there's no need to feel like, oh, I have to eat. I feel less hungry. And I also notice that because I am able to go much longer in between meals, or at least I'm not feeling as hungry in between meals, I'm less focused on it, which is fantastic. Now, for my carb intake, I am still under the 20 grams of carbs. And I did start to incorporate some stretching because next week I am going to start going to the gym a minimum of 3 times a week, strength training, and then whatever days else I go, I'll do some cardio just to kind of keep up the endurance, help with losing the fat and kind of starting to build the muscle, but definitely starting stretching. Today I was able to do like a little stretch session, get my body prepared and everything. But yeah, I am also starting to look in the mirror and kind of feel like I'm seeing a difference in my body, specifically in the stubborn fat areas. Not that big of a difference that I could be like, oh my gosh, I lost so much. No, it's just a slight difference. I do want to let you know though, roughly around this time for some people, you might get this thing called keto flu. If you do start feeling nauseous, if you do start feeling sick, it's just your body kind of going through the transition of, oh, we're not going to function off of carbs anymore. We have to switch to a new thing to work off of fats. So that is your body just switching. You might not feel the best, but if you do feel like that, drink a lot of water. If you can, get some electrolytes in. That should help you out. But for the most part, we are halfway through our first week, and from what I've been told, once you're done with the first week, everything else is easier. So it's day 5, and I will say, although I did not get the keto flu, I did get the keto insomnia, which I was reading about earlier today because I was struggling with sleeping and I thought it was just me. I thought I was having a bad day, but turns out sometimes in the early stages of keto, you can get insomnia. So I was just dealing with that, especially really hard last night. But I did read, make sure you don't eat late, try to keep the room dark, don't use electronics, like the usual for dealing with insomnia. But that's something you could deal with, and I did not know that, so now I know that. But it apparently doesn't last too long once you're fully in ketosis. So we had to learn about keto flu and now keto insomnia, but a lot of these things just happen in the early stages of keto. So definitely once you become more into it, you should be fine. But I am under the 20 grams of carbs. I did decide that reaching for a 500 calorie deficit is on some days a bit too much for me, so it's okay if I'm a little bit lenient with myself. I'm still shooting for the I guess the 3/4 pound just as my ballpark, but I'm also fully aware that if I am losing weight, and I have been tracking my weight, I'll show it all to you in the weekly fit check, but that the lower your weight goes, the less you eat, because your body doesn't need that much. So really trying to accommodate with that and kind of just going into it. My body is kind of taking some time to adjust, and it was a little bit hard yesterday. I did get a little bit lightheaded, but that's because I went from eating full meals to suddenly being in a calorie deficit of at least 500. And then on top of that, at the same time, I was going into keto, so it was just like hitting it from both sides. So I'm trying not to be too harsh on myself. If there's some days where I only get the 250 calorie deficit, that's okay. If there's some days where I get the 500, that's okay as well. As long as I'm within that ballpark, I should be fine. But yeah, be patient with yourself, listen to yourself. If you need to eat because you feel faint, eat. If you need to drink water, water is your best friend. Sometimes I notice if I drink a glass of water before I eat, I'm not as full. Or no, not as full. What am I saying? If I drink a glass of water before I eat, I notice I get full faster and I'm not as hungry as I thought I was. Sometimes your body is thirsty, not hungry. But also one thing I started to incorporate today was kind of making my meals a little bit smaller, but separating them out more. So instead of like 3 meals a day, I'm doing like 3 meals and a snack, and I'm kind of separating it out. That way it's a little bit easier for me to feel like I've been eating the whole day, especially since I am on a calorie deficit.
It's day 6. I am still under the 20 grams. It is getting a bit easier to handle the eating on keto, and yeah, it's just a lot easier. Definitely feel more motivated, more energy wise, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing how my changes are going to be after just 1 week, and just see where we go with that.
Hi everybody, so we are finally at our last day of the week, week 1, day 7, and I am still under the 20 grams of carbs. My fats and my proteins are definitely much higher, and I'm all within that range. Once again, sometimes I do hit the 500 calorie deficit, sometimes I go towards just 250, which is fine. And I noticed once I gave myself that leeway to kind of go anywhere between 250 to 500, it became a bit easier for me to deal with, and easier for me to not stress myself out if I'm not hitting my calorie deficit goal. So here with my weekly fit check, I want to show you guys my stats. So this is my scale, kind of showing you how much I weigh now. This is my last day, day 7, end of week 1 stats. So as you can see, here are all the details for where my body is at right now, and I am going to do a comparison back to back, upload everything so you guys can see the difference, whether it's in numbers, whether it's in pictures. And I'm also going to show you that my weight has actually fluctuated tremendously during this week. There were times where it went higher up than where I started. There's times where it went really low, but overall this is where I am at the end of this week. And then I also have my body fat percentage, and that also was kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down. Same with my BMI, and then even with my visceral fat, you can see there's a time where it does go up and down, but for the most part it's decreasing. So overall, even though my scale is going up and down in so many different parts, over time it's like slowly decreasing, which is what I want at the end of the day. Even if it goes up and down just because, you know, maybe I'm drinking more water, maybe I worked out or something. I did notice that my weight was the heaviest the day after I worked out. And like I said, that could be due to water retention or inflamed muscles or anything like that. But these are my stats, and I want to show you this. I was so happy about this waist measurement. So this right here is me measuring my waist, and as you can see, it is 29 inches. So when I started this keto journey, I was at 30.5 inches, so 30.5 inches, and now at the end of the first week, I am at 29 inches. That is a difference of 1.5 inches, which to me is amazing, because losing an inch on your waist specifically can be one of the hardest places to lose an inch. So I know for me, with my weight loss over the years, I tend to lose weight in my stomach last. So seeing a 1.5 inch difference in a week was amazing to me. And I'm actually gonna show you my comparisons. So this one is from the beginning, and then this one is from today. This one's from today. So I am going to play those for you so that way you can see the difference kind of side by side. And As you can see, like my weight compared to my stats, I started at 138.2 pounds and now I'm at 133.2, which is a difference of 5 pounds. 5 pounds in 1 week. And then my body fat percentage went from 35.7 to 34.2, which is a 1.5% difference in body fat. And once again, my waist size went from 30.5 inches to 29 inches. So this is just results from 7 days of keto, 1 week of keto, and this is where I'm at. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing my results for the next week, and then even comparing it all at the end of the first month, and then comparing it all at the end of 2 months, because remember, we are on 2 months of fat loss with keto, which is pretty much calorie deficit.
So we're here at day 8. I can truthfully say that not only am I still in my carb goal of under 20 grams, I am also not really having as much cravings. My energy is up usually by, like, before even keto, by end of day, I'd be exhausted, tired, just want to sleep, not really have much energy to do things. Right now, I feel like I have midday energy, which isn't so bad. I want to see if maybe over time I end up having a bit more energy to go through the day. But overall, I think my body has adjusted to it. I'm assuming I'm on keto because I've been told I already look like I lost a little bit of weight. Not too much, but I guess a little bit. What's really gonna make me go like, oh wow, I really lost weight, is if I lose my little belly pooch, which is my hardest spot to lose weight at. I've tried so many workouts, I've tried diets before, but this one is more like just a healthy lifestyle, or at least like it's a diet. Let's just say it's a diet. But also in the middle of this week, I am gonna start going to the gym. I'm just trying to figure all that stuff out. So I will try to document some of what I'm doing at the gym and everything like that. So we're making progress. It's day 9. I definitely have to say, one thing I noticed is my appetite has gotten a lot less. And I can't necessarily say that that is a good thing, because I find myself going such long periods of time without eating. And I know I'm in a calorie deficit, but it is very important to eat regularly. I'm also having a hard time kind of staying in a calorie deficit, and I am considering maybe instead of trying to reach for that 500 calorie deficit to try to go for the middle of that to 250 or even just 250, because I do notice for my height with a calorie deficit, so I feel like I might not be getting enough to eat, and that could cause my body to go against me. So it's something I'm definitely considering, how much of a calorie deficit I want to go, how much to stay healthy. But definitely I have to be more on top of making sure I eat, even if I don't have an appetite. I am gonna go to the gym in the morning, so I will try to record some of that so you can see some of my workouts. Maybe I'll break down, depending on how my results are, maybe I'll break down some of those workouts. But yeah, new chapter, I'm ready. And definitely with working out, I'll be able to eat more, so that might actually help offset that feeling that I'm having. Because if I'm trying to do a deficit of 250 calories when I'm not working out, if I work out and I'm able to burn 250 calories, that means I can eat 250 calories more and I'll still be in a deficit. So I'm gonna try really hard, but I'm also not gonna over push myself, because last thing I want is to go so hard I can't go back to the gym the next day or the day after that. So yeah. It's day 10. Gym day is complete. I am really tired, really low, but what I'm doing that's helping me is to kind of snack in between. So instead of like full big meals, I'm trying to just get some snacking in between, because I feel like I'm starting to get hunger pangs, and I really get them roughly when it's like around lunchtime, breakfast, lunch. So trying to avoid that and making sure I get a little something before I eat and after. So it's kind of going from, instead of just 3 meals a day, to like 2 meals and 3 snacks a day, and just really working with that just to spread everything out more. Oh, and I am still working with the calorie deficit. I'm mainly right now just shooting for 250, because like I said, going for the 500, I feel like I was just starting to burn out. But I am still within the 20 grams for the rigorous keto diet. I woke up with keto flu. So the entire morning I was achy, I was nauseous, I had migraine. So I spent my whole day kind of sweating it out, and I just went to the gym. So I sweated out physically as well. And just letting you know, if you do feel keto flu, try to get some electrolytes in your system. Just because you're on keto, don't forget your vegetables, because vegetables also have electrolytes. And if you can, move around a bit, get some exercise in, because I honestly feel a bit better now that I worked out.
Hi everybody. So it is day 12 of keto. And earlier today, I went to a dinner for a friend's birthday at a restaurant. And being the only person that eats keto, it was a bit difficult. I found a way. I just ate protein, really. I had like maybe 1 or 2 little vegetables just to have it in there and keep everything low. But one thing I did realize was, with every single meal option, the side order was something carb heavy, whether it was rice, whether it was rice and peas, whether it was, I don't know, mashed potato, whatever it was something very carb heavy. And that's something I didn't realize when it came to just everyday eating, was how easily it is to have such carb heavy foods, because that is the only option. Like, there is no kind of not carb heavy side, if that makes any sense. So even if you are getting, let's say, a sandwich, they'll give you some fries, or maybe they'll give you mashed potato on the side or something. It's just like heavy carb. So for me, one thing I worked was, even though they gave me a side anyway, I just didn't eat it. But it really hit me that it's not just the snacking you have to really look out for. It's the little extras on the side of the plate as well. But I do want to say I'm very proud of myself, because I am still within both my calorie goal and my carb goal. I'm actually really looking forward to the maintenance portion of this 6-month keto goal that I'm doing, because I'm kind of a little tired of eating in a calorie deficit. It is working, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm excited to start eating a bit more.
Hey everybody, so it's day 13. I have been feeling better ever since I started making sure that my vegetables, my electrolytes are all being consumed a good amount, so that way I'm getting all the nutrition I need aside from the macro details. I am in the gym, so I just want to show you some footage of that.
Today was abs and arms. As you can see, I am taking breaks in between in order to finish each set because I have not gone to the gym in a while. I am tired. Sometimes I do need a breather in between sets, but that is okay because the more you do it, the better you get at it. And then next thing you know, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I finished 3 sets and I didn't stop for a breather in between. So it's really not about where you're at when you're starting. I know sometimes the gym can be very intimidating, but it is how you end, and how you end is 100% dependent on you. And if you are a bit insecure in the gym, that is okay.
So it's end of day 14. Don't mind me, I kind of just braided my hair for the night, but I have been going to the gym. I'm actually starting to feel a little bit stronger. I've been told that I do look more toned, which I'm thankful for because, you know, this weekly fit check, there wasn't that much of a difference from the previous one. But I'm trying to tell myself, you know, women, our body fluctuates a bit throughout the month, but also I am working out, so who knows, maybe there's muscle growth as I'm doing fat loss, which is a form of recomping. And I'm not really gonna see much of a difference there. So hopefully that's what's going on. And just one thing I realized is, like, if you need a rest, if you need a break, take it, because you cannot go to the gym, you cannot keep up with your diet, you cannot actually make these changes that are better for you if you are not okay. So definitely with me and myself, especially today, especially the day before, just taking as much rest as I can because I needed it, and it was a lot going on. And these changes with keto and then back at the gym, it can be stressful, it can make it hard. So if you do need that rest, especially in the beginning stages, take it. Put yourself first, put your health care first, and then everything will be easier.
So we are finally at our weekly fit check for week 2. Yes, that's right, we are halfway through the first month, and I do have all my stats right here. So you can see my body weight, my body fat, everything that's been going through the whole chart. This is my weight chart, and as you can see, it still fluctuates a bit, but I noticed the fluctuations aren't as steep in comparison to before. So sometimes it'll be like maybe 1 pound, sometimes it'll just be like half a pound or just 0.2 of a pound. So it'll go up and down, which isn't that bad. So yeah, this is, I showed you the weight, and now this is my body fat chart, and then also my, that's it, yeah, mainly weight and body fat that I'm really just focusing on right now. But as you saw in my chart, you know, that's all my stats as of this weekly fit check right now. And if you notice that my difference is now, like in week 2, I have 133.8 in pounds. Remember, week 1 I was 133.2, and when I started I was 138.2, so I'm still going down. But in comparison to week 1 and week 2, I kind of gained 0.6 pounds, which honestly I'm telling myself isn't that big of a deal, because 1, this week I did start working out, so there is a chance that it could be from muscle, because remember, muscle does weigh twice as much as fat, but it's a lot more condensed. So maybe as I'm losing fat, I'm also building muscle, kind of offsetting that a little bit. And also, as I have to tell myself, especially as a woman, my body's gonna fluctuate throughout the month, so not to beat myself down too much. I think the fact that it is roughly in the same place can ultimately mean that I am making a difference, because
sometimes, you know, we'll go like a 5 to 10 pound range difference throughout the month. So my body fat is actually 34.4, once again because I had a 0.6 pound increase. Of course, my body fat is kind of going to increase right now for 0.2, but I do think the more I work out, the more that's going to change. And then my waist is still the same size, which once again, I'm not beating myself up too much just because, you know, a woman's body does fluctuate. And then I am starting to work out, so that could be added water retention simply from just working out, or possibly like my muscles are sore, so they're just maybe a little bit inflamed, and it could be from that, or even just yeah, it could just be from that. So I'm not really beating myself up. And you know, I have heard that when you start working out, sometimes you blow up a little bit. Your weight will still be the same, or it'll be slightly more. You blow up a little bit, then it all shrinks as your body gets more and more accustomed to working out. So yeah, these are my stats from week 1 to week 2. I am still very thankful that I had dropped roughly 5 pounds from when I started. That to me is amazing, because usually people will say like 1 to 2 pounds a month, and to do 5 pounds in 1 week, that's amazing. So definitely I'm gonna keep going. I want to see where I'm at, you know, next week, since I will be more consistent with working out, and see if my body adapts to that as well. I really don't know what to say in these daily update videos, because I'm consistent. So it's kind of just like, why am I saying every time that I'm reaching my carb goals and I'm still within my limit? It's actually gotten a lot easier to do that 500 calorie deficit to about 3/4 of a pound. So yeah, I'm making progress, and it's starting to become more habitual, so I'm not really thinking about it too much. And actually, I feel like I am making better food choices in regards to keto, and it's feeling like I'm able to eat more without actually eating as much calories, but being more healthy, if that makes any sense. So I'm actually just more and more excited for each coming day. And I feel like at the end of each month, because I am going to do this for 6 months, I'm going to see differences. So I'm just really looking forward to all these changes. It's day 16. One thing I've been doing more is kind of prepping my meal, or what I'm going to eat for the day before, because I kind of want to switch it up, at least have an idea where I'm going, if I'm going to go out and get something or if I'm not. But overall, I'm in the phase where I'm starting to feel like I am getting a bit more energy. I do notice in the morning I'm not as groggy. I get up from bed a bit easier as of today. I don't know if that's going to change going forward, but yeah, it's been pretty nice. Hi everybody, so day 17 here. I am honestly, one thing I'm not really liking about the keto diet is every so often I am feeling low, not in energy, but like just emotionally low, and I don't know if it's due to the lack of carbs. I did Google, and some people say it does, some people say it doesn't. I'm not 100% sure, but I do notice more frequently I am feeling low. I don't know if that's going to change once, you know, like maybe a month or so has passed. But also I have loss of appetite a lot. So today is one of those days where like I have a plate of food in front of me and I just couldn't eat it because my appetite wasn't there. So I am gonna try to eat it again or bring it back out and heat it up and see if I could get myself to eat it. Otherwise, I'm just starving myself at this point, which I don't want. But those are my two main concerns when it comes to the keto diet, is just how frequently I have a loss of appetite and how frequently I'm feeling low.
So day 18 update, I am about like 0.5 grams expected to be over in carbs, which I don't think is too big of a deal because we are going a bit more rigorous. So even if we go up a little bit in carbs, we're still gonna stay in ketosis, which is not so bad. Definitely want to continue working hard on everything just to get back into those good vibes, because like I said, emotionally, I don't know if it's something to do with keto. I don't know if it's just the fact that I really miss snacks and even fruit. I really miss fruit as well, because I'm not getting a lot of those, because sometimes it just adds up too much carbs too quickly. But it's like a huge up and down. So I definitely applaud the people who do this for years, because this is just 1 month, and we'll be at the end of a month in like a week or two. So it's very exciting, but it's also just so much of a roller coaster this 1 month, and hopefully that changes as we get into it a bit longer. So who knows, maybe at the end of the second month I'll just be coasting, especially emotionally, or maybe even by 3 months, who knows. But that's where I'm at right now, where it's a good day. It's a good day, not trying to beat myself down, but I am aware that so far on keto I have had the most up and down emotional roller coaster.
So apparently it is really obvious that I have lost weight. I know I look tired right now, I am tired, but it apparently is starting to show that I have lost weight, which is amazing to me, because I did gain like 10 pounds in 1 month, and that's because I was eating good. And everybody noticed that. So I haven't exactly lost those 10 pounds that I gained in that month, but I lost roughly half of it. I think 6 pounds by now, and you will see on the update, because I am tracking my weight every single day. That way we can see all the fluctuations and everything. But yeah, you know what they say? They say it's like 2 weeks for strangers to notice, or long distance friends who you haven't seen in a while. 3 weeks for family and friends that are close to you, and like at least 4 weeks or more for you to see it in yourself. And to be honest with you, it's hard for me to see it myself, because I am looking at myself every day. But as of this week, people have started to tell me, hey, you look like you lost weight, which I appreciate. But I also want to make sure it gets into my head, like when people are saying I look like I lost weight, they actually mean like I look slimmer. Because one thing I notice is a lot of people equate weight to fitness, and that's not necessarily true, because there are a lot of fit people who are skinny, but they weigh a lot more, and that's because of muscle, and muscle weighs more. So for me, as much as I am focusing on the weight, I do always want to remember it's more about slimming down and toning up than it is about the weight. Especially like once I go into maintenance and once I go into gains, I want to keep that in my head, because if I just focus on, oh, in order to be in shape I have to weigh like 100 pounds, that's not healthy for me, and I'd much rather be healthy and in shape. So yeah, everybody's pretty much told me, hey, I look like I've slimmed down. So I'm very happy about that. I do feel like I'm starting to get a bit more muscle definition from working out. Not as much, but I am trying. And who knows, maybe, because I just started the gym not too long ago, so maybe like in a couple weeks I'll really see that muscle growth, and maybe in a couple months the difference will be drastic, or at least more obvious. But this is a process and we are getting through it.
So let me tell you, snacking is one of the best things you can do. And you might be like, oh, what? Snacking, cookies, cakes? No. I mean, like, to me right now, snacking is eating smaller portions but more frequently throughout the day. So, for instance, instead of eating a full meal, I kind of cut it in half, eat that half at once and then save the other half for later. And because of that, like, it goes from, like, instead of 3 meals a day, 6, and it's all like snacking meals. And you know what I figured out? Like, the more you're kind of eating throughout the day, or in like small increments throughout the day, it's kind of keeping your metabolism up and helping it go up and up and up. But also, you're not working your stomach too hard to the point that it's spending, I don't know, 4 hours just breaking down what you ate for lunch. Versus if you snack, or like essentially have smaller meals and breaking it up, it could spend like an hour, 2 hours breaking that up, get some rest and get ready for the next one. The next thing you know, you're digesting your food more, you're getting fuller faster, and you're not getting those super hungry craving pangs, because you know food is coming like every 2-3 hours. So that is working for me right now. That helps me out. Like, even if it's something small, it makes me feel like, okay, I have something to hold me over until the next one, no matter what happens. So my recommendation for you right now is to snack, or at least make your meals small, that it feels like, oh, you're just taking a little bit of a snack every so often. Not too small, but you'll definitely see the difference like one little snacking trip can make.
Okay, so we are actually here. We are finally in our day 21, the end of our 3rd week. I cannot believe I'm here, but I also cannot believe that my jeans aren't as tight as they were when I started this. So I am ecstatic, fantastic, amazed, just everything. Because I really looked at it today and I was just like, my jeans, they're snug, but they're not tight-fitting snug, you know? So I'm really happy about that. And I guess like that's all I could say for my day 21 update, because what I really want to do is go into the week 3 weekly fit check. So we're here with the week 3 weekly fit check, because we have actually done 3 weeks of this, where next week it's gonna be a full month. It's amazing. I'm excited. I'm happy. So just to start things off, once again, I'm gonna show you my stats. This is where I am at right now. And as you can see, my weight is now 131.8. And that is 2 pounds gone since last week. And remember, like last week I went up 0.6, and now I am down a whole 2 pounds, so that's amazing. And then you could also see like all my other stats on there, and I will go over some of them as we go. Just want to make sure you see the stats that's there. And then of course, just to show you my weekly weight chart, as you can see, everything still fluctuates. You know, there are days where it's up and days where it's down, but it's kind of crazy that like when it comes to roughly the same day, well actually no, yeah, every same day each week, my weight drops in comparison to other days. And I feel like maybe if I look at it on different days, it'll still be the same, but for the most part my weight fluctuates up and down, but it's still on a downward scale, which is amazing. And then I want to show you my body fat chart. So once again, you see this, it fluctuates a little bit, but it is going down. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to see that it dropped a whole, almost a whole 1% of body fat, because losing body fat is hard. And a lot of people have actually been telling me, hey, you look like you've slimmed down in your waist. And I'm telling you, right down there, that is where I hold the most fat. So having people say that, seeing the numbers drop down with body fat percentage, I'm so happy. And then I'm gonna show you right now, this is my waist measurement. And it's not that big of a difference. It is 28.75, so I've really just lost like a quarter of an inch, 0.25 inches, which, you know, sometimes that can make me go, oh my gosh, I'm not losing it. But then I've tried recomping before, and I know when you recomp, you don't really change in measurements, because as you're losing, you're also building, so it's kind of staying the same. So once again, I'm in the gym now more, so far I'm like 5 times a week, but I'm not going extremely hard. I am giving myself like light progressive overload, whether it's in reps or whether it's in weights, but for the most part, it's something to get me there. And I am doing the 12-3-30. Well, actually I'm doing 12-3-20, because I'll be upfront with you, I get a little bit tired, and sometimes I don't like being in the gym too long, and I think, oh, okay, my strength training is gonna take a bit of time, so let me do 20 minutes of this and then go into strength training. That way I'm not wearing myself out for it. Listen to your body, guys. Listen to your body, because there are some days where I just am way too exhausted to be on a treadmill even for 20 minutes. And then do a strength training. Sometimes I have to do 15. Sometimes I have to pause and then come back. And, you know, listen to your body. It is telling you what it needs. It is telling you how to push yourself. And if you need a break, take it. If you need water, you do need water. Drink water. Make sure you eat if you need it as well. But yeah, so waist measurement is now 28.75. It's small, but the fact that it is not increasing back to where I started, which was 30.5, I am just like, I am okay with that. If it takes its time, it goes slow, I am okay with that. Because, you know, I feel like if you lose things so fast, you don't know how to maintain it. But if you lose it slow, you're building up a way to maintain it as you're going. So by the time you're at your goal, you not only made it to your goal, but you also know how to maintain it, and you're in the habit of maintaining it. So there's that. And this is a bonus I just want to show you guys. So this is when I started. This is my first week, this is my second week, and this is my third week. And look at the difference. It's small, but it is something. And so, you know, I'm gonna just read out to you once again my week 3 weekly fit check measurements, and I'm at 131.8 pounds. I am at 33.7% body fat, and I'm at 28.75 inches. Guys, this is coming off. It's coming off slowly, and I'm actually losing fat, or at least I'm losing in places that I used to really struggle with. So I'm not surprised it's taking me a while, but the fact that it is going away from areas that I need it to go from, I'm ecstatic. I am happy, and I can see the changes even though it's little. So this is small, but it's steps going forward, and I'm grateful. It's day 22. I am beyond exhausted, but I feel like I am doing what I need to do in order to maintain and lose weight and everything. So we're making progress and I'm glad.
It is day 23 and I can honestly say that I have been feeling more confident in adding variety to my food. So like switching things out instead of just staying on a basic like meal plan, eat the same things every day. So just able to vary things a bit more, which makes this more enjoyable. So I would say once you get the hang of it, definitely look at some keto websites so that way you could try different recipes, test out different flavors, see what works for you, because sometimes you just need a snack to change things or a meal to change, and then it gets you to feel a bit more motivated than you usually would. So every time you're on like that low decline, try switching up your meals and seeing how that fresh new taste is gonna help you out.
Hi everybody, so it is day 24. I will be upfront with you. I am missing the gym today just because I am feeling a bit tired and I don't want to push myself too hard to the point that tomorrow I am just struggling to get through my keto and everything. So right now I am still on track with keto. I do feel like I'm seeing the changes. I did mention before my jeans are fitting better, but now I'm noticing like even on my more fitted jeans, my shape is going smoother. My love handles aren't really popping out or bulging against the fabric. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm definitely thinking like when I do go into maintenance, I might never hit that weight goal that I initially wanted, but I'm definitely going to hit that health goal that I want. So like I said, once I get into maintenance, through keto I noticed the fat is coming off where it should come off. Because I'm working out, I feel like I'm still maintaining whatever muscle I have, and I think in maintenance I'll be able to kind of keep the muscle while providing my body more fuel to kind of develop a little bit more muscle, and then the keto is going to kind of help get rid of the fat in that area. So it'll be like 2 months of essentially recomping. And I think I mentioned this before, the reason I am going to, instead of go from calorie deficit into like gains, is because I don't want to just have such a high jump from how I'm eating to the next level. I want to take my time and ease into it, because once I start eating a bit more, I have to get my body used to that before I can get into surplus eating. So the reason I'm doing that is so that way my body knows like, hey, this is what we're doing now, instead of going like, hey, you're eating way too much than you usually did, it's going to be stored as fat. I want to avoid that at all costs, but that is where I'm at right now. So progress, resting today, and just really doing my thing. I am changing my workouts from, instead of 5 to 6 days a week, where I was doing like legs one day, arms one day, abs one day. I think what I'm gonna do is actually just 3 times a week, full body. So at least 4 days out of the week I'm getting kind of a rest day, and on those 3 days that I'm going to the gym, I could really push myself a little bit hard with the weights. And also I do feel like rest is how you actually build the muscle, how you actually keep the muscle, how you train your body to get better. I think the only time I will go outside, like if I go outside of those 3 days, I will just do the 𝑘𝓫, which is pretty much just a light cardio, get myself into fat burning mode, just to get that out there. But yeah, this is where I'm at now. Day 25 here, I will say taking that rest day actually helped me a lot. I feel a bit more rejuvenated because instead of going to the gym, I got a little bit more rest. I am starting to feel like I'm kind of hitting my low with the calorie deficit, but we are almost there. We are almost at that 1 month. I think in a few days we will be, I think 5 more days we'll be at that 1 month, and in 3 more days we'll be at our 4th week weekly fit check. So we are making such a huge progress, and I am beyond thankful for this. I can't even believe how fast this month went on, because I won't lie to you, in the beginning I was like, this is gonna be a long time. This first month is gonna be so long. But now that I'm in my 3rd week and it's kind of habit to me, as much as I talk about snacks, I don't feel myself actually reaching for it. But definitely I am grateful for the experience, and I am starting to really see the changes in my own body more and more. And you know what they say, like 2 weeks for strangers to notice, 3 weeks for friends and family to notice, and like a month for you to notice. So we are almost at that month, and I am starting to really notice. Yeah, so I'm excited to see the difference in comparison from when I started to the end of that 1st month, and I'm excited for the next month after that, because remember, we're gonna do this for 6 months, 2 months calorie deficit, 2 months maintenance, and 2 months surplus. And I am really excited just where I'm at right now after 1 month. I may have not lost a lot of weight, but I can tell that I am losing body fat, especially in my chubby lower belly area. That has honestly, no matter what I did before, this has always been the hardest place to lose. And sometimes when I used to work out, I would never lose from that area, lose from everywhere else but that area. But ever since I started doing this keto, I have been losing from that difficult to lose area. So I am really excited to see how this keeps going forward. It is day 26, and I am going to start doing 3 times a week working out, and the rest, instead of trying to do 5 times to 6 times a week, just because I find myself, especially because I'm in a calorie deficit, feeling a bit more and more exhausted each day, especially as I am starting to lose weight and body fat and everything. And last thing I want to do is put my body in starvation mode and be going too hard too fast. It's day 27, and I honestly can't believe that we are almost at 4 weeks, and soon we'll be at a month. And looking back on it now, it feels like it went by pretty fast, but during it, oh my gosh, especially in the beginning, it was like days would drag on. So seeing that we are almost at the end of 4 weeks, and in a few days we'll be at the end of the month, I'm so proud of myself. And if you're following along, I'm so proud of you too. So one thing I noticed is just in these about 4 weeks, my clothes have started to get a bit more loose, or at least fitting better if they were really tight. And I am starting to see the changes myself, so I'm really just excited to see where I'm going to be at the end of the month, and then excited to see where I'm going to be in the months after. But it definitely tells me, like, in the future when I do start eating carbs, because carbs is like the easiest way to gain weight along with overeating, I probably would be a bit more mindful of it and try not to, finish all the fries or get a lot of fries, or even desserts. Like, just be really cautious of it all. And one thing I noticed is my appetite, like I tend to get fuller faster now, and I'm not eating as much as I did before. So it's helped me really listen to my body as well. Hi everybody, it's day 28 here. We have finally reached the last day of our 4th week, so we're almost at a month. And I do want to say one thing in going through all of this, especially today, is making sure you are aware of your electrolyte levels. One of the ways you know your electrolyte levels are down is if you're drinking a bunch of water and using the bathroom a lot, because this means that your body is not retaining that water, which is keeping you dehydrated. So one of the things I'm gonna do today, and one of the things you can do if you don't have an electrolyte supplement, is take a tablespoon of salt, put it in warm or room temperature water, let it melt in there, and drink that. That's gonna help you out a lot with getting your electrolyte levels back. And that's something I had to learn a little bit the hard way, so I hope you don't, because I am feeling it today. And I was feeling it yesterday and the day before, and I didn't know what was going on, and I kind of figured it out. But other than that, it is time for our weekly fit check. So here with our weekly fit check, of course, what am I gonna do first? I'm gonna show you guys my stats. And as you can see, this is once again my weight, my water levels, protein, my body fat percentage, everything is right on here. And then once again, showing you this week, my weight does fluctuate, as well as my body fat also fluctuates throughout the week. But regardless, it is still and has always been on a consistent decline since starting keto. Now, I just want to show you my waist measurement, and look at that. Look at that. I am down to 28 inches. So from last week to this week, I went down 0.75, and I'm happy about that, because losing inches on your waist is usually one of the last things you lose. But now we are gonna go and look at everything from the beginning through each week. And I just want to show you this, because this one will be the one where I'm actually comparing everything. Next time I do a fit check, it will be from the beginning to the end of the month, so you guys could really see the difference here. So this is week 4. I am at 129 pounds. That is a 2.8 pound difference between this week and last week. And then I am at 32.9% body fat. That is a drop of 0.8% in 1 week. That's amazing. And then we are at 28 inches in my waist, which is 0.75 inches less. I want you guys to see this, because when I started, I was 138.2 pounds. I'm almost 10 pounds down after 1 month. And then my body fat, I am almost down 3 pounds, well 3%, I'm sorry about that, 3%. And then when it comes to my waist, I lost about 2 inches. Now I know those numbers seem small, but they have made a drastic change to me in how my body looks, especially my waistline. So I'm very excited about that. I am curious to see how my final results will be at the end of the month, because we still have like 2 more days to go to hit that 30-day period for the month. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, especially because that one will be, you know, recorded on a different day, seeing maybe if levels go up, levels go down. But at the end of the day, no matter what, there is a difference from the beginning of the month to the end of this month, and I am beyond thankful for it. Day 29 here. We are 1 day from completing our first month on keto. I will tell you, there is so many ups and downs. There's so many times where I want to give up,
And the idea of wanting snacks, desserts, carbs, for me has not gone away, but it has been easier to not reach for it. I'm really looking forward to seeing where I'm going to be tomorrow, because I don't know how else to put it, but this progress has really come a long way. I'm really proud of myself, and yeah, it's just a lot of ups and downs, but I'm thankful I got through it. I know that I can do it again, and I will be doing another month in part 2. So yeah, let's see how tomorrow comes out. Let's see where I'm at, and we will officially have 1 month under our belts. So I'm really proud of you if you followed along. I'm really proud of myself, and I know no matter what happens, we could at least say we completed a month, which is hard, and we're one step closer to eating pasta. Unless you want to stay on keto for a longer time, sure. But if you don't, we are looking forward to carb-heavy meals eventually.
Hey everybody, so we are finally at our threshold. Our very first month of keto is officially over. We have made day 30. This journey has been exhausting. It has been up and down and up and down, but we are here and we did it. I am drained, but I am happy, and I know for a fact I can continue on, because I am challenging myself to do this for 6 months straight. Once again, 2 months on calorie deficit for fat loss, 2 months on maintenance, and then 2 months on gains. So we have officially finished part 1 of my keto journey, our first month, and I'm very excited about that. I will have part 2 up as soon as I'm done with it. But I definitely want to say I am so proud of myself. This first month, I will say, is the one where I am really just figuring things out. I'm going to expect myself going forward to have a better hang of things and be better able to manage. I was looking up, and a lot of other people said, like, after the first 2 months, it got a bit easier. Your body really got adjusted to keto, and it made all the difference. So let's see about that. But now that we are at the end of the month, I want us to do our 1 month keto fit check. So that way we can see exactly where I started to where I am now 1 month later. So let's go. Here we are with our 1 month keto fit check. Of course, I am going to show you my stats. So as you can see, everything is still here. Everything right there. And of course, as you all know, my weight fluctuates. I know there was only a 2-day difference between this check and the end of week 4's check, and my weight did fluctuate. Yesterday it went up higher than it did, and then it went back down, so still on a downward decline. And then here, of course, is my body fat percentage, which did the same exact thing as my weight. And now I'm also going to show you my waist measurement. As you can see, I went down to 27.75 inches. So in 2 days, I pretty much lost 0.25 inches, which to me is still fantastic because of where I started. And you guys will see that soon. And speaking of soon, let's just get right to it. Right here is going to be where I was when I started. This is where I started to where I am today, 1 month later. And when I started, I was 138.2 pounds, and officially, as of today, I am 128.6 pounds. So that is a loss of 9.6 pounds. 9.6 pounds lost in 1 month. And then I started at 35.7% body fat, and now I'm at 32.7%. That is a 3% body fat drop, which I'm thankful for. And when it comes to waist measurements, my inches, I started at 30.5. I am down to 27.75. So that one is 2.75 inches lost around your waist. And like I told you guys, for me, even when I used to work out a lot, losing it in my waist was always the hardest, because it's where I hold the most body fat. So seeing that drop 2 inches is amazing. Seeing it drop 2.75, almost 3 inches, I am ecstatic and completely ecstatic. The lowest I've ever been in waist measurement was 26. I don't know if I'll get there. I have no idea how much more I'm going to lose in regards to body fat and weight over this keto journey. But seeing that I'm losing it in places that I used to struggle losing it in, I am completely and utterly thankful for that. And I'm sure I'm losing it in other places, but I did not measure those places, so it'd be a little bit weird giving these measurements now with nothing to compare it to. But this is the end of my first month on keto, my fat loss month on keto, and I'm going to start working on month 2 of keto, where I'm also going to stay in this calorie deficit and just see how it works for 1 more month before I go back to maintaining. So if you were with me on this journey, thank you for joining me. If you did this with me, thank you for putting yourself through and getting through your days. And if you are going to continue with me for the next month, I look forward to seeing you again or hearing your comments, questions, anything you have, all down in the comments below. And thank you so much. Bye.